G'day beautiful people, welcome back. We're going to go and continue along the blog post and look at the rest of the changes. Well, most of them, we're not going to cover cards in this video, we'll do that in the next one. So we have the version 40, the Age of Intellect. Okay, so we have the phase reveal, which I covered in my previous video. There'll be a link to that in the description down below. We then have Kalari changes, Steel changes, Murdoch changes, Shimby changes, Greystone changes, Fae changes, and Novaborn Greystone. Raise a light in the darkness of space with Novaborn Greystone. This new skin comes with new ability effects to harness the light against your enemies in battle, available in the store. So it's kind of, I don't know if it's just me, but it's kind of very Nova-esque. Not as in the actual Nova Corps from Guardians of the Galaxy, but Nova, the character from Marvel, who is part of the Nova Corps. But anyway, moving on. So there's the card update, which will, as I said, we'll go on to. Age of Intellect event. Unlock and earn the new Sluggo's So Sorry banner by playing 10 games of PvP or co-op. This week-long event ending Tuesday, May 23rd. Oh my god, I just woke up, I'm sorry. Will also include double XP. So double XP for the week. Smash some games in. We have some new features being added. Monthly Vault Rewards, a new reward feature that has arrived. Earn stars, and you can get a chance to receive items from the monthly vault each week. Every month the vault will refresh with new items, offering fresh chances to earn all the vault rewards. We have Golden Key. Speaking of monthly vault rewards, one of the items that can be earned in the vault are the new golden loot keys. The golden keys guarantee a rare item or above from loot crates. Awesome. They've updated the community tab. We can now celebrate the community in style. We've introduced a new tab that the Paragon community can use to stay up to date on current events and community members. Stay informed and get involved. Okay, so if we, is that even a thing that I can look at right now? I don't, it's not. So, yeah, that's coming on version 40 then. Okay, so we have the full release notes here, so there's a bunch of gameplay changes. First up, we have Shield. Shields now absorb mitigated damage, previously absorbed unmitigated damage. What that means is that, let's say you have 100 armor, someone is hitting you, your character is mitigating some of that damage, and then the amount that they're hitting you for is actually smaller. So let's just use a really easy example. Someone hits you for 500 and you're mitigating 100 damage, okay? If you're only getting a 400 shield, you will now be absorbing the mitigated damage, so that shield will absorb the whole 400. Whereas before, you would have been getting, the shield would have been trying to absorb the 500, so you would have still got hit by 100, so that's better. This means shields behave as temporary health and are affected by armor in the same way. That's a great change. We have changed to the core. The core encounter has been reworked to allow for a more consistent damage output and to encourage destroying multiple inhibitors before pushing to destroy the core, which is great. No longer splits damage between all targets in a radius. It now deals 110 basic damage to all enemies in the radius. Okay, so it's a flat amount of damage to each hero. Attack speed is reduced depending on how many inhibitors are destroyed. Okay, so it will attack quicker the more inhibitors that are up, so you want to get all them inhibitors down. Next up we have jungle changes. We've updated melee jungle minions behavior so that they are more difficult to kite and avoid their damage entirely. They will now more reliably hit players who are a short distance away from them. As a result of the change, we've adjusted the damage and reward levels for fighting jungle camps. So they've reduced white jungle minion damage per attack to 6 from 7. Increased white jungle minion CP bounty to 85 from 73. Increased white jungle minion Amber Link CP contribution to 35 from 30. This is a pretty decent change. I guess that their method behind the madness is to make it a little bit harder to jungle, meaning that you have less health earlier on potentially for ganks. So you're going to have more of a separation between the really good junglers and the bad junglers. Gold buff, not bluff, has been replaced with a gold variant of the River Bugs. Grants 300 CP when killed. So that's interesting. Not much really to say on that until we see it in action. The green buff increased damage reflect to 20 from 15, reduced explosion base damage to 85 to 80 from 100, and reduced the explosion damage per hero level to 13 from 15. The Raptor Camp, they've changed the respawn time to 5 minutes from 4 minutes, so they will still pop up at 10 minutes in, and then it'll be every 5 minutes instead of every 4. Reduced the bounty to 650 from 800, which is that's pretty decent. So you'll be getting 1950. So you'll not be getting as anywhere near as much CP as you were before, because before you were getting 2400, so you were getting nearly 2.5 actual card points. Orb Prime increase the duration of the Orb Prime buff to 150 from 120. Okay, I don't mind that considering the changes that we had before. We then have the phase update, which we've gone over in the other video, link in the description as I said. They've adjusted Cryoseism. They've corrected an issue which would cause Cryoseism to deal unintended additional damage for Aurora. Now, Feng Mao, this is an interesting change. Reaping Dash damage bonus increased to 35, 70, 105, and 140%. From 10, 25, 40, and 55. Now that's a huge change, but it can no longer crit. So you won't be able to get quite as high a number, because before you would have been getting around like 250% damage because it could crit. More than 250 because it could crit. But now you're getting a static 140%, which is a high number, but more reliable number. Gadget speed gate movement speed increased to 200 from 125, and it now decays over effect duration. That's a good change, makes it more viable. The Greystone change is something that I really like. So they've added the Greystone T3 skin, and they've reworked Stoic. So it no longer provides bonus health and basic armor. What it does instead is at level 1 for every 9 seconds, and at level 4 every 3 seconds. So we'll go off of level 4. Every 3 seconds, Greystone will block 100% of the damage from the next basic damage instance that hits him. So it could potentially actually work even better. It'll mean that he is a lot more sort of tanky later, because it's every 3 seconds. And it means that you can sort of, even at level 1, you can work around that. You can play a bit smarter, and you can cop a pretty big hit. Iggy and Scorch. Okay, so the only change that they're noting here is the Flame Turret now have 200, 350, 500, and 650 health instead of pips. Pips are, when you look at a turret, for example, or a ward, they have a certain number of health bars that you have to take off one hit at a time to destroy them. So actually upgrading your flame turret really early is actually a pretty good thing, because 650 health, if you can get it there before a caster's even doing, sort of 150 damage on their basic attack, it will take them a lot longer to actually destroy. And the turrets take 60% reduced ability damage. Next up we have Bellica. She's got a little bit of a nerf. Her Void Drone's base damage has been reduced to 30, 50, 70, 90 from 60, 80, 100, 120. The power scale has been reduced to 0.376. She now has 200, 375, 550, and 720 health instead of pips, and now takes 60% reduced ability damage. So these reduced ability damage numbers is way more effective against someone like Morigesh, considering they have health. It's going to take her a lot to get rid of. She probably won't be able to destroy one with her Hive, which is nice. Kalari getting a huge change. Crippling Dagger has been moved to R1 right mouse button, and it's now a quick cast. The base damage has been increased to 75, 115, 155, 195 from 60, 80, 100, 120. Now, Backflip has been completely removed as an ability, as a castable ability, and it's been replaced by Shadow Dance. This is a passive, which is on her triangle, which is a bit, it says it's on a triangle, which is a bit weird, because that's her ultimate. It provides bonus health regen when Clara is in the Shadow Plane. 3, 6, 9, and 12 health regen. That 12 is huge. Allows Clara to jump up to 2 additional times after jumping the same way Backflip did by just using your jump button. Now, the cool jump on triple jump has been reduced, so it still works the same way. It still has it's still the same triple jump that you know, still works the same way, but it's now not on one of your ability buttons. It's actually just your jump button, which makes more sense, and the cooldown has been reduced. Now, it doesn't cost mana either. Shadow Walk now automatically activates when Kalari drops below 35% health. This effect can only trigger once every minute. Only triggers if the damage dealt comes from enemy heroes. And Death Sentence added a minus 250 slow while Kalari is channeling Death Sentence to her intended victim. This should help her line up more when she arrives. So that means that when you actually ult in, they will not be quite as far away as what they normally are, so it won't take you much to get back on their heels. Moragesh's base ability armor has been reduced to 20 from 21.4. Her ability armor per level has been reduced to 0.75 from 0.81, so it's more in line with other casters. So that is good. Muriel General. As a reminder, all shields are now treated as extra health and benefit from targets' resistances, such as armor. Alacrity? Alacrity? Yeah, okay, fine. Movement speed increased to 150, 175, 200, 225 from 35, 50, 65, 80. That's huge. She's going to be so much stronger now. And the movement speed now decays over its 2-second duration. As well as the fact that her shields are now technically better. Murdoch's Move Along has been removed. Static Trap has been removed. Buckshot has been completely reworked. Moved from Q to right mouse button R1. Which is a good spot for it to bloody be in, let's be honest. Enemies damaged by Buckshot are pushed if they are within 700 units of Murdoch, up to a maximum distance of 700 units away from Murdoch. Damage range remains 1,000 units. So you can still hit them within 1,000 units, but if they're at 650 units away, they'll get pushed to 700. I'm assuming, considering they haven't noted it, that the Shred is still on that ability. So now her Q, or primary, which would be, I'm guessing, square, is a new ability called Hot Pursuit passive that grants an additional 100, 150, 200, 250 movement speed when running at visible, critically wounded enemies within 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 units. That's amazing. So when someone is critically wounded and they're just outside your attack range, which is sort of 1,500, if they're much further outside that, anywhere within 6,000 units, and they're, as I said, critically wounded, so that's when your screen sort of changes. You get the red hue, and you've got the sort of heartbeat. He will get, at max level, a 250 max movement speed buff while they're visible. That is huge. This is going to make him so much more viable. Not that he wasn't viable, but he was sort of starting to fall off a little bit. And his new E, or circle, I'm guessing, will be shots fired. Passive grants Murdoch's next basic attack bonus range and 15, 30, 45, 60 basic penetration every 10, 8, 6, and 4 seconds. This is awesome. This shot can miss, and it does the cooldown. If it does, the cooldown is consumed. So Murdoch is about to be freaking amazing. He is my favorite carry, and he's now even better. I love these changes. Naibash, March. Movement speed increased to 125, 150, 175, 200 from 65, 90, 115, 140. The duration reduced to 2.5 seconds though from 3, and it now decays over time. So it's not a huge change, but it's a change nonetheless. Shock Therapy on Richter has had its cooldown reduced to 12 seconds at all levels instead of 21 at base level. Shinbi All Kill. Shinbi can now move while casting. All stack duration increased to 10 seconds from 7. Rushing Beat. Shinbi will no longer lose the ability to recast Rushing Beat after being stunned or silenced. That is awesome. So if you use Rushing Beat once, and then you get stunned, you can then still use Rushing Beat. Line tempo, projectile speed has been increased. She's going to be a little bit stronger than what she was. Steel's force shield has been removed. His bulwark has been reworked. Steel now deploys a smaller attached force shield as an extension of his shield while channeling bulwark. The duration increased to 4, 5, 6, and 7 seconds from 4 at all levels. So I believe that this is just sort of a graphical change, and they're just buffing him by giving him extra seconds on the ability. He's got a new ability to replace Force Shield, which is called Ablative Armor. It's a passive that grants Steel 4 stacks of 50, 65, 80, and 95 ability armor, for a total of 200, 260, 320, and 380 ability armor. Taking ability damage removes 1 stack. Okay, so Steel gains 1 stack every, we'll go off max. So if it's at max, you get a stack of 95 up to 380. He gets 1 stack every 3 seconds. This timer is reset whenever he takes new instances of ability damage. So that's pretty freaking awesome. This makes Steel actually be able to tank. This is if, so it'd be 190, 285, so 4 stacks, and you'd be at max stacks at 380 ability armor, which is a freaking lot, I might add. 95 is a lot. And they will take off a tick each time, a stack each time, but that first hit is gonna do nothing. Okay, they've updated phase harvest nettles. Consecutive hits on the same target within 9 seconds deal an additional 15% damage per hit, stacking up to a maximum of 60% bonus damage per hit. So those Fey mains are going to be even stronger. Yin's Lash Kick, they've reduced the range back to 750 units. That's going to bring her back down in line with everyone, because she was a little bit, I'm not going to say OP because she's not OP, but she was the definite choice a lot of times in the CC meta. Windburn mana cost has been increased, doubling the actual mana cost, and the cooldown has been increased to 21, 18, 15, 12 from 20, 15, 12, and 8. Okay, so there's an extra 4 seconds on max level there. So we've got a lot of changes coming in. It's going to be interesting to see how it all works. I'm really looking forward to playing Murdoch. I know a lot of people are looking forward to playing Kalari. And one other thing I'm really looking forward to is that people might let me play Iggy and Scorch a little bit. But that's it, guys. So if you enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, please smash that like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about any of these changes. And subscribe for more Paragon content. With that said, guys, oh, actually, before I say that, I'll have another video up very, very soon on the card rework. But with that said, thank you very, very much for watching. I love your face. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.